What's up, guys? It's Ryan, the Hot Toys Collector with Ryan and Crystal's Reviews, and today we got another review for you. This is the Star Wars MMS 554, the Jawa, and EG-6 Power Droid. Happy to have this figure. Can't wait to get it out. So let's hit the intro and let's get it going. Alright, so here we got our typical Star Wars box, two-tone color. We got our nice banding here around the bottom. We got a nice picture of the Jawa Power Droid here. Again here, Star Wars in that raised kind of lettering. We got the Jawa here on this side. Flip it to the back. We got our credits. Flip it to this side. You get the MMS 554 Jawa EG6 Power Droid. And we're back at the front. So let's get the figure out of the box and let's check him out. Alright, so here we got the figure in the clamshell. Looks really nice. He's actually a little bit bigger than what I thought he was going to be. So we've got the Jawa, we got the EG6 droid, we got some hands, we've got his rifle, which looks really cool. We got some batteries for the light up eyes. And then we've got a welder and a communicator, and we've got some extra wrist pegs, along with some little extra pieces for his suit. So let's get him out here, take a closer look. So you can see looks a little funny without the eyes lit up, so we're going to get to that here in a little bit. But this fabric is that rough style, real thick cottony style fabric. Looks really nice. This has got some wires. These have wires in it, so you can use these to articulate. You can see you get wires here, wires there. So that looks really cool. It's nice that they added that. To put in the batteries, you're going to have to slide this back as shown in the directions, because the battery pack is in the back of his head. You want to be very careful when doing this, so just kind of work it back. And there's Velcro on the top, just like that. So you get it back just like that. And there's going to be the battery compartment. We'll get those batteries in. We'll take when we go into a little bit more detail on the figure, and we'll do the light up eyes. So all in all, it looks pretty good. I've never seen a Jawa without his hood on, so he looks really funny that way. And then the EG6 droid, pretty simple. Looks really nice. Pretty good size. I mean, hand-wise, it's pretty good. And then these feet have a little bit of articulation to them, as you can see. Out, up. And kind of give him that walking style. This is that kind of that rub. This is like a rubbery material right here to cover. So that's really cool. So now that we've got him open and out of the box, let's take a closer look at these accessories. We'll take a closer look at the bases, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so here are the accessories. So we've got the Star Wars bases. These are hexagonal bases. These are a little bit different than your typical Star Wars base. So we got Star Wars Jawa. We got Star Wars EG6 Power Droid. Now they come with these little covers that you put over the top. You got one for each. This one obviously goes with the Jawa because it has the slot here for the waist grabber. So they kind of sit over the top like that. And you get this kind of look of it being out on Tatooine. Now this one you can kind of fit in any way you want, that you're going to use for the EG6 droid. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. I would like if they would have maybe cut this piece out on one side so you could still see the nameplate. I think that would have been a good idea. But these are a little different. You don't really see a lot of covers for the bases. Some of the ones that came with some of the Marvel figures in Endgame and Infinity War, they would slide over the top like this. You'd have a slot for that, but it didn't cover the whole base like this one does. So that's a little bit different, but that's kind of cool that they throw those in there on some of these figures. So let's take a look at the rifle or blaster for the Jawa. You can see here, it looks really good. We've got a trigger here. This does not articulate. I would say if you put a lot of pressure on this, that's going to snap off. So you're going to be very careful with that. You see there's like this little dusty style finish to it, which looks really cool because, of course, he's on Tatooine. So it's going to be sandy because sand is rough and coarse and gets everywhere. That is a prequel meme special there. So there's not a lot of articulation to this. You can see that's what it looks like staring down. That's what it looks like staring down the barrel. So other than that, it's a nice little addition to have for the Jawa. Of course, there's been a few Jawas during the movies that have these going. So I'm glad that they included that. So look at the hands here. These are the gloved hands. So this is a hand for the left hand to hold the rifle. So you can put the rifle in the left or the right, because we're going to see the right trigger finger here. So you can see the detail on these gloves are really nice. It's kind of the typical detail. Got a little bit of bunching up there, which looks really cool, gives it a nice realistic look to it. And then we've got this one for holding either the welder or the communicator. Again, nice, looks good. He does have two hands on him, and they are just regular style open hands, and we'll see those here in just a second. So we've got the welder. Now this will articulate a little bit, so you can kind of move this back and forth a little bit, but not a lot. It says it's supposed to be 360, but oh, there we go. There it's moving. I guess it was kind of stuck. So this thing will move around, which is kind of cool. I don't really remember exactly where in the film that I saw one of them using one of these, but nevertheless, it's a nice little addition. And of course, then we have the communicator. So you can see here, it looks like the hilt for this. It just kind of looks like a hilt for a lightsaber, but all in all, it looks pretty nice. You can see he uses one of these on, I believe it's R2 that he first uses it on. So that's pretty cool. You get your typical waist grabber here, not the crotch grabber, but this is a better idea. Anytime the figures have long capes, especially if it's over the top, then I would prefer to have this one than I would the crotch grabber, because the crotch grabber, when you try to slide it, the back of it gets bunched up and then it looks funny. So this is your style for your waist grabber. So now that we've looked at the accessories, let's get the figures out here and let's take a closer look and zoom in on the details and see just how good these figures are. All right, so here we have our figures. Let's take a look at the Jawa first. I went ahead and installed the batteries. Now, you guys know from past videos of mine that I'm not big on the batteries. I don't really like them. But considering that we never see the Jawa without his eyes, you can say, lit up, then I'm like, well, I kind of got to put the batteries in there. I don't really have a choice. Iron Man, you can display him without the batteries in. War Machine, same deal, and you can get away with it. But Jawas, you really can't. So you're going to have to put the batteries in. So let's go ahead. I kicked them on. They look pretty good. Let's slide this hood back over. And then you're going to feel that internal hit the... You're going to kind of have to mess with this a little bit to get it just right. So that's kind of what he's going to look like with the lights on. Now, if you're good, you can kind of mess around here in the back of his head, and you can feel that switch. Kick the switch off, kick the switch on, so you don't have to keep going back and forth with the... Because I would say if you kept going back and forth with this over and over and over and over, turn them on, turn them off, you're probably going to damage that eventually. So, you see here, let's do some articulation. So we get out here, pretty good. You see it raises up pretty good. It's going to get the swivel, get the bend, swivel, get your typical wrist peg movement, up, forward, back, side. Pretty typical, pretty good. Get a little bit of ab crunch right there, as you can see, just coming forward just ever so slightly. You want to be careful with his pouches, because they are loose on the figure. I mean, of course, they're wrapped around the figure, but they're not attached to anything. See, they're loose here, so they move. So you definitely don't want to damage those. So feet-wise, let's take a look at he's got his moccasins on. You can see those, the detail on those. Looks really cool. I've never seen a Jawa's feet, so I wouldn't know what a Jawa's feet look like. But you see he can pretty much kick all the way up there. Looks nice. He's got the double jointed knees, like typical. And then we get a little bit of ankle pivot. We get good ankled up and down. So, all in all, pretty solid figure. Sideshow did some of these years ago. I didn't pick any of them up. I wish I would have now, because I would like to have him with him, because I kind of feel like you need a couple Jawas, and because there's never just one by himself. There's always, multiple Jawas together. So I might see if I can find some of the Sideshow figures to get put in my collection. And then we have our EG-6 Power Droid. You can see here, detail on the front here looks nice. You get the detail on the side. On the back, looks pretty good. Then the other side, like I showed earlier in the video, these articulate a little bit, so you get about that much kick, back, and then it'll go out like that. Same deal, this one will go out like that, and then this one will swing in like that. And they're, you know, they got the good movement to them. You get the ankle will turn, it'll go up and down a little bit. You can see, goes up and down, just ever so slightly. So all in all, they're nice figures. I was happy to get them in my collection. So let's get the light box out here and let us take our final photo, and we'll finish up the video. So here we've got the Jawa and the EG-6 Power Droid in the light box. As you can see, I've got the communicator in his left hand and then the rifle in his right. So you can definitely get a lot of accessories, or get all the accessories pretty much, with him set up on the figure, which is nice. And then we've got the EG-6. You see I've got his foot kind of set up there. I've got the little covers over the stands, and you can see the box there. So let's take a closer zoom in here a little bit. Now I do have the lights on in the eyes. It's kind of hard to tell since I've got this in the light box, but you can see there is a little bit there. So it's definitely not, you look at the box there, how bright they are, they're definitely not that bright. But, you know, we all know how Hot Toys and batteries, that combination doesn't mix all that well. So you can see here's a good look at the suit again. So we go down, you can see him holding the rifle there, it looks really cool. And then the base, I'll come over here and I've got EG-6 like 1 foot up, like he's just frozen. And that looks really cool. So, appreciate y'all watching the video. Please like and subscribe. These are some nice figures. I would give this a 4 out of 5. I'm glad I got these. I wasn't sure. This was a waitlisted item on Sideshow, and my waitlist converted. I got lucky. So I'm really happy that it did. Happy to have them. So please like and subscribe. My social media sites just popped up right there. So come on over to Instagram. I'm always taking pictures and making some cool photos of these. And I post there all the time. I post to Twitter. I post to TikTok. Come on over, say hi. I really appreciate it. And we will see you in the next video. See you guys.